Okay, let's work on the 3.3.1 review preview. All right, page 13 is where it starts. All right, now David wants to solve the equation 4,000x minus 8,000 equals 16,000. What easier equation could he solve instead that would give him the same solution? In other words, what equivalent equation has easier numbers to work with? Okay, so we've got 4,000, 8,000, and 16,000. We can divide all of those by 1,000, right? So instead of 4,000, we'll put 4. Instead of 8,000, we'll put 8. And instead of 16,000, we'll put 16. Okay, so now we just solve for x. We add 8 to both sides. 4x equals 24. Now we divide both sides by 4. And x equals 6. So that's the answer I put right here. X equals 6. Okay. Page 14. Justify that your equation in part 8 is equivalent to 4,000x minus 8,000 equals 16,000 by showing that they have the same solution. Okay, so we write down 4,000 x minus 8,000 equals 16,000. All right, so we'll start by doing the same thing. We'll add 8,000 to both sides. So now we have 4,000x equals 24,000. And then we divide both sides. Well, I can change colors. There we go. Divide both sides by 4,000. And we have not 24,000. Divide both sides by 4,000. 24,000. If you want to pull out the calculator, you can go 24. It's not 324. 24,000 divided by 4,000 equals 6. Okay, so x equals 6. That's the answer we put right here. And yep, they are the same. Okay, page 15. All right, David's last equation to solve is x divided by 100 plus 3 divided by 100 equals 8 over 1,000. Okay. Okay. All right, so we can, whoa. Okay, here we go. So we go and we have our x over 100 plus 3 over 100 equals 8 over 1,000. Okay, so we can do one of two things. We can either multiply everything by 100 or we can multiply everything by 1,000. Let's go ahead and multiply everything by 1,000. Okay, 1,000. All right. So now we're going to go 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So that'll be 10x plus, same thing, 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So 3 times 10 is 30 equals 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1. So that's just 8. All right, so now we're going to subtract 30 from both sides. Minus 30. 8 subtract 30 is a negative 22. 10x equals negative 22. Now we divide both sides by 10. And we have x equals -2 and 2/10. Okay, that's the answer we put right here. X equals 2 and 2 over 10. Oops, 2 over 10. You can also say that that equals 2 and 1 over 5. Okay. Right, page 16. A rectangle has dimensions of 6x minus 1 and 2x plus 5, and the perimeter is 120. So which equation below represents this fact? So let's see. A rectangle, we know that a rectangle is, to get the perimeter of a rectangle, we have to add all the sides together. Okay. So one side can be 2, oops, I forgot to switch it from a line to a drawing. Undo, okay, drawing, okay. All right, so one side will be 2x plus 5, and the other side can be 6x minus 1. All right, so which of these is the equation we should use for the perimeter? Okay, so think about it this way. We've got this side up here that's 6x minus 1. We also have this side down here that's 6x minus 1. We have this side that's 6x plus 5, and we have this other side that's 6x plus 5. If we're going to get the perimeter, which is the whole outside, we need to add these all together, right? So we've got 2x plus 5 plus 6x minus 1 equals 120. Well, that only has each side once. Then the next one says 4 times 6x minus 1. Well, that would work if it's a square, but it's not a square, it's a rectangle. Then we have 2 times 6x minus 1 plus 2 times 2x plus 5 equals 120. All right, that one works, so we can click that one. This last one, 2x plus 5 times 6x minus 1, that's the equation we should use if we were finding the area. Okay, so now it says once you've selected the appropriate equation, solve for x. Okay, so we're going to take our equation and we're going to distribute the 2. Okay, 2 times 6 is 12, so 12x. 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times 4x, 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times 5 is 10. And that whole thing equals 120. Okay, now we are going to combine like terms. So let me get over here and change to a different color. Let's see, maybe we'll use a blue. Okay, blue. Okay, we've got a 12x and a 4x that we can combine. 12x plus 4x is 16x. Then we have -2 and 10 that we can combine. -2 plus 10 is 8, so plus 8. And that whole thing equals 120. All right, now we just need to solve for x. So I'll start off by subtracting 8 from both sides. That'll give me 16x equals 112. Then we can pull up our calculator. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn off the pen. Okay, pull up the calculator. There we go. And we put 112 divided by 16 equals 7. So that's the answer we put in our answer box. X equals 7. Okay, so now we are ready for page, hold on. Now we're ready for page 17. Clear all. Okay, page 17. Write the following, which of the following expressions are equivalent to 12 times x to the 6th power. And more than one answer is possible. Okay, so the way we're going to figure this out is we're going to just try each of the equations. Okay, the first one, we've got 3 times 2x cubed quantity squared. And if you remember squaring it, there's 2 different ways to look at this. So we've got our 3 on the outside, and then we've got 2x cubed on the inside, and that's squared, so we can write it down again. 2x cubed. Okay, so now we're ready to combine all of our things. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. X cubed times x cubed, we've got 3 here and 3 here, that's x to the 6th. Okay, the other way to look at this is we take our power that's outside the parentheses and we multiply it by the power that's inside the parentheses. So that means that it will be 2 times 3 is 12, so it'll be x to the 6th power. And then we just square our 2. 2 squared is 4. And then we go 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so that's that one. All right. Okay, so this one would work. Check. All right, the next one. 6x to the 8th power times 2x to the negative 2 power. Okay, the first thing we do is we start off with the 6 and the 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And then we go x to the 8th power times x to the negative 2 power. And when you're doing that, you look at the 8 and the negative 2, and you add them together. 8 plus negative 2 is 6, right? 8 minus 2 is 6, so it'd be x to the 6th power. So this one also works. All right. Now let's try this third one. Okay, this half power that's right outside the parentheses. What does half power mean? Half power means square root. But remember how in this top one we did 2 times 3? We can do the same thing right here. 1/2 times 12. What's 1/2 times 12? Or what's 1/2 of 12? Well, that's 6, right? So that's x to the 6th. And then 1/2 is the square root, right? So what is the square root of 144? Well, the square root of 144 is 12. And if you need to come up here and use the calculator, oh yeah, gotta turn that off. Yeah. If you need to use the calculator, you just type square root 144, and there you go, it's 12. Okay. Okay. All right, so that means that, yep, this one will work also. Okay, let's try this bottom one. Okay, to start off with, we have a 60 and a 5. What is 60 divided by 5? Well, 60 divided by 5 is 12. Then when we are dividing things, we subtract the powers. So up here, we added the powers, 8 plus a negative 2. Now we're going to subtract the powers. X to the 10th divided by x to the 4th, that means we take 10 and we subtract 4. So x minus 4 is 6. And then we have a y on bottom and a y on top, so those just cancel each other out. Okay, so that means that the bottom one works too. So all of them work. All right, now we're ready to go on to page 18. Maybe if I can turn that off and I keep missing the X, there we go. Okay, page 18. Okay, multiply each of the following expressions, show your work. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do the math window if you would like, or you can do the math rainbow, whichever works. So just so that you know the technical term for math window, it's area model, but I think it looks like a window, so I call it a math Okay, so this one will have 4 little squares in our math window. Okay, and it doesn't matter if I put the x plus 3 on top or if I put it on bottom or on the side. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the side, x plus 3, and then on top, I'm going to go 4x plus 5. Okay, now I am ready to multiply them together. 4x times x is 4x squared. And then 5 times x is 5x. 4x times 3 is 12x. And 5 times 3 is 15. All right, now I just need to combine like terms. So I've got 4x squared, 5x, 12x, and 15. The only two we can combine is the 5x and the 12x. So 5x plus 12x is 17x. We have 6 plus 17x plus 15 and plus the 4x squared. Okay. So that is what we put up here. 4x squared. Oops, I forgot. So this one, if you want to type math, you have to click on the little square root down there. So I'll go like this. I can highlight it and push the square root symbol and it will translate it for me. Okay, so I've got 4x squared plus 17x plus 15. That is my answer. All right, page 19. Okay, same thing. We'll do a math window. Well, that was way too big. Let's try this again. So that I turned my drawing tab sideways, and now it's like throwing me off my group. Have to turn it back how it's supposed to be, I guess. Okay, so let's see. Negative 2x squared on top minus 4x. So I need to make sure that these go together. Okay, and then 3x plus 4. All right. Okay, so negative 2x squared times 3x. 2 times 3 is negative 6. That's negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And x times x squared is x cubed. Now, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. X times x is x squared. Okay, bottom row. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 x squared. And then negative 4 times 4 is negative 16 x. Okay, now we look to see which things we can combine. We've got negative 6x cubed, negative 12x squared, negative 8x squared, negative 16. All right, the two we can combine are the ones with the x squareds, negative 12x squared and negative 8x squared. Negative 12 plus negative 8 is a negative 20. So it's negative 20x squared. And then we have minus 16x. And then we have the first one, negative 6x cubed. All right, so that's what we type right here. Click on the little square root symbol. And now you can go negative 6x cubed minus 20x squared minus 16x. Okay. All right, now we're ready for page 20. Okay, same thing. We're doing the math window. And if you want to use the rainbow math, if that's easier for you, use rainbow math. Just whatever is easiest for you. Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll put 3y minus 8 on top, and then negative x plus y on the side. 3y times negative x is a negative 3xy. Now, the reason I put x first is because we go in alphabetical order, but it doesn't matter that much. Okay, negative 8 times negative x, that's positive 8x. 3y times y is a 3y squared. And then negative 8 times y is a negative 8y. Okay, so now we need to look and see what terms can we combine. We have negative 3xy, 8x, 3y squared, and negative 8y. So since none of those have the same variables, we can't combine them. So we'll just type it up how it is in the math window. So negative 3xy minus 8x plus 3y squared minus 8y. Okay. All right, one more page. Okay, here's the last one. And this one will have kind of a long math window. There we go. Keep track of time so that I don't miss the next class. Okay. All right, so y minus 4, and then on top we've got 3x, 5y minus 2. Okay. So first thing I do is I times 3x times y, so that'll be a 3xy. Then I do 5y times y, that's 5y squared. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. 3x times negative 4, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, so negative 12x. 5y times negative 4, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20y. And then negative 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8. All right, so now I'm ready to combine like terms. We've got 3xy, 5y squared, negative 2y, negative 12x, negative 20y, and negative 8. So I have a negative 2y and a negative 20y. I can combine those two together. Negative 2y plus negative 20y, that's a negative 22y. And that's all that we can combine on that one. So I'm just going to take everything else in my math window. 3xy plus 5y squared minus 22, oops, no, 11, 22y minus 12x minus 8. Okay, and there we go. All right, so that is all of 3.3.1 review preview. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys later.